There is a phrase whispered across nations, offices, marketplaces, and political corridors. When corruption benefits you, you call it connections. It is a simple statement, but it exposes an entire universe of human behavior, one that shapes societies, destroys fairness, and defines how power truly works behind the mask of respectability. This video explores the world where people romanticize corruption when it helps them, condemn it when it harms them, and justify it when it serves their ambitions. It is a world where morality bends depending on who gains and who loses. This is not just a story about bribery, favoritism, or bending rules. It is a story about human psychology, our hunger for shortcuts, our fear of struggle, and our secret admiration for those who get things done without following the system most people are trapped in. To understand it, we must start with the uncomfortable truth. People do not hate corruption, they hate being excluded from it. There are two faces of the same coin. Most people grow up being told that corruption is evil. Parents, teachers, religious leaders, and governments preach honesty and fairness. But the same society also celebrates people who know someone, who have links, or who have doors opened for them. The difference between admiration and condemnation is not morality, it is advantage. If someone else pays a bribe to get a job you deserve, you call it corruption. But if your uncle calls a senior manager and you are hired without interview, you call it connections. If a politician steals public funds and enriches strangers, people call him greedy. But if he steals public funds and builds a road in your village, you call him a hero. If a business owner manipulates the system to win tenders, you call it exploitation. But if that business owner is your cousin and you benefit from the contract, you call it smart thinking. This is the paradox of human morality. The same action changes its name depending on who benefits. And this selective morality is what keeps systemic corruption alive, not just the corrupt individuals at the top. Corruption survives because ordinary people excuse it when it feeds their hunger. The psychology behind connection justified corruption. Why do human beings justify a wrong simply because it benefits them? There are 4 deep psychological forces at play. 1. Self-preservation. People naturally protect their interests. If bending the rules gives them stability, opportunity, or survival, they will rationalize it. A job given through favoritism may save a family from poverty. A bribe may help someone access medicine or education. A backdoor arrangement may prevent years of struggle. People rarely see their actions as immoral, they see them as necessary. 2. Tribal thinking. Humans are wired to protect their group. Family, clan, tribe, community, religion, or political base. If corruption benefits my people, it is considered smart, loyal, and strategic. If it benefits another group, it becomes an injustice. Tribal morality has nothing to do with ethics, it is about us versus them. 3. Social admiration of shortcuts. Society secretly respects those who find shortcuts. The student who studies all night is admired, yes, but the student who gets leaked exam papers is envied. The entrepreneur who works for 10 years is respected, but the one who gets rich overnight through a shady deal is celebrated. People admire results more than processes, victories more than virtue. 4. Cognitive dissonance. Humans cannot easily see themselves as bad. So they rename their wrongdoing to protect their identity. Bribe equals appreciation. Nepotism equals helping my child. Favoritism equals using my network. Illegal shortcut equals being smart. Corruption equals connections. Words become a shield from guilt. 3. The myth of clean success. Every society has a myth, the myth of fair success. We tell children that hard work and honesty lead to achievement. We tell them to study, to persist, to be good. But reality exposes another truth. The world is not a level playing field. Some people are born into families with influence. Some inherit powerful networks. Some by privilege. Some manipulate the system. Some simply know which strings to pull. People with the connections rise faster, people without them struggle longer, and so society begins to normalize corruption because it does not want to confront inequality openly. Instead of admitting some people win because the system is broken, we say they have strong connections. It feels more palatable than the raw truth. And this myth protects the corrupt elite while keeping ordinary people hopeful yet blind. 4. How corruption disguised as connections destroys society. Even when corruption benefits someone temporarily, it destroys collective progress. 1. It kills merit. When opportunities are given based on who you know, talent becomes irrelevant. Hard work becomes meaningless. Creativity suffocates. A society that kills merit kills its future. 2. It normalizes unfairness. If corruption becomes the only path to success, those without influence lose hope. They disengage. They stop believing in institutions. They stop trusting government. They stop trying. And a society without trust collapses slowly from within. 3. It builds a class of untouchables. Those with connections become invincible. They break laws freely. They exploit systems. They accumulate wealth without fear. Meanwhile, those without connections face stricter rules, harsher penalties, and fewer opportunities. It creates two countries living inside one nation: the privileged and the expendable. 4. It breeds mediocrity. If leaders are chosen based on favoritism instead of competence, organizations rot. Hospitals fail. Schools stagnate. Government departments underperform. Businesses collapse. Mediocrity becomes a norm disguised as tradition. Why do people defend the corruption that benefits them? This is the heart of the problem. People who openly condemn corruption become silent when they benefit. Why? Because corruption rarely introduces itself with the name corruption. It comes with soft names like favor, connection, blessing, assistance, link, opportunity, goodwill, appreciation, support. And people fear losing these benefits. They fear speaking against the very system that might one day save them. It is like criticizing a ladder you secretly hope to climb. What are the subtle forms of connection-based corruption? Not all corruption is transactional. Some forms are deeply social and emotional. 1. Nepotism. Hiring relatives, choosing family over competence, promoting clan over talent. 2. Patronage. Giving government jobs or opportunities to political supporters. 3. Favoritism. Giving contracts, scholarships, or leadership positions based on personal relationships. 4. Social pressure. Family members demanding support because blood is thicker than water. 5. Elite networks. Powerful families helping each other stay on top through marriage, business partnerships, and influence exchange. These forms are harder to condemn because they happen quietly, socially, and often with cultural approval. People see them as tradition, not corruption. What is the morality flip? When the beneficiary becomes a critic. There is a pattern in societies where corruption is normalized. People support corruption when they are rising. But once they reach the top, they demand fairness. When someone gets a job unfairly, they defend it. But when their child is denied a scholarship due to corruption, they cry injustice. This moral inconsistency keeps corruption alive. People are not fighting corruption, they are fighting for their spot in the corrupt system. They want access, not integrity. The illusion of clean connections. Are connections always corruption? No. There is a difference between networking and corruption, and unfair, harmful. True networking is built through hard work, reputation, expertise, mutual respect. This is legitimate social capital. But corruption becomes hidden when people confuse it with networking. The line is simple. If someone bypasses a fair process to give you an advantage, it is corruption, no matter how politely it is done. The story of two students. Imagine two students. The first one studies long nights, sacrifices comfort, then dreams of a future shaped by merit. The second one barely studies, not because he is lazy, but because he knows an uncle in a high office who will sort things out. Both take the same exam. Both submit the same job application. But when opportunities arrive, the second student rises effortlessly. The first struggles. Society looks at the second student and says, he is well connected. But beneath the surface lies the truth. He is benefiting from corruption. The world pretends they are different things. This is the silent tragedy of millions. How to break free from the mentality. Corruption disguised as connections will not vanish from society overnight. But individuals can free themselves from its psychological trap. 1. Stop romanticizing unfair advantage. Call a thing what it is. If it is favoritism, name it. If it is corruption, name it. Truth is the first step toward change. 2. Build real networks. Skill-based connections are powerful and ethical. Earn your relationships through competence, humility, and reliability. 3. Respect fair processes. Even when shortcuts exist, practice patience and integrity. The road is longer, but the foundation is stronger. 4. Teach the next generation. Children must learn that corruption is not intelligence, it is sabotage. Honesty must be a value, not a punishment. 5. Create personal principles. A person without principles is easily corrupted. Define what you stand for. Live by it even when nobody is watching. Connections are corruption in disguise when they harm others. Connections are not evil. Corruption is. But when a connection denies someone else a fair chance, bypasses established rules, manipulates processes, rewards the undeserving, harms society, creates inequality, then it becomes corruption, even if it benefits you. Corruption does not stop being corruption simply because you benefited from it. And integrity does not stop being integrity simply because it is inconvenient. When corruption favors you, you will be tempted to rename it connection. You will want to see yourself as lucky instead of complicit. You will want to enjoy the fruits while ignoring the roots. But society collapses when people only want fairness when they are losing. Society decays when integrity becomes optional. Society rots when shortcuts become culture. The world becomes better only when people choose honesty even when it slows them down, when they choose effort even when shortcuts exist, and when they choose fairness even when corruption is within reach. Remember, integrity is what you do when nobody is watching. Character is what you do when corruption is an option. Justice is what you defend even when it doesn't benefit you. And the truth will always remain. When corruption benefits you, you call it connections. But the world knows the difference, and so does your conscience.